So then what happened next was even more amazing, because I'm outside of our universe, and then I went through this gray-green wall, and I was messaged that I was in the neighboring universe. So I go into the neighboring universe and I see the continuation of the connecting rod that I had seen before. And it came through the gray-green wall and attached to a pole, a vertical pole. And to the left and to the right of this vertical pole were these pods or nodes. There were 4 on each side, hanging down. And then just above the connecting rod, kind of attached to the gray-green wall, was what looked like a control room. There were doors, there was a balcony, and then there were stairs that headed down from the balcony in the direction of the cone that I had seen previously. I was then shown the rest of their universe. I was shown planets and stars and galaxies, and their universe, I mean, it just appears to be a very, very large universe. So then, from being in the neighboring universe, the big universe, the app or the portal then backed up, and I could see the big picture. I could see the cone with the tube over to the right. I could see this connecting rod going through the gray-green wall into the neighboring universe on the left, and then I could see what I was told was ballast, the 8 blue nodes, kind of a counterweight to our universe. And behind it was the stairs and the control room and the balcony. And I asked, who created this? And it was so huge. You know, the scale was just, you know, if you look just at the connecting rod, just the volume of the connecting rod would have been many, many times the size of the cone that I was seeing, our creator. And the blue nodes as well, the counterbalance was many, many times the size of this cone that I saw. So I asked, who created this? And the control room doors opened. And that's when I saw these 2 beings come out. And they had these brown robes on with translucent faces. Their faces had blackish eyes. So at this point, I realized I had seen the big picture, but I still hadn't seen exactly where the Earth was located. So I asked, where's the Earth? And then the app or the portal zoomed in. And it zoomed into the white tube running around the base of the cone. And as it got close to the white tube, a few panels peeled away from the white tube. These are curved panels. And on the inside, I was shown that there was printed planets and stars and galaxies on the insides of these panels. But the Earth wasn't there, and I said, where's the Earth again? And we went inside the tube and I could see our solar system, and I could see our Earth existing inside the tube. And it was at that point that I realized that the scale was even more crazy than I thought before, because the neighboring universe was massive. Even these ETs were massive. And one of these ETs could have been many, many times bigger than Earth itself. Earth to one of these ETs could have just been like a crumb. And humans could be like just a speck of dust. And our smartphones, well, they'd probably need a microscope to look at them. So the scale was just crazy off the charts. So this left me wondering, why did these ETs create our universe? You've got this massive universe next door, and then you've got our tiny universe. So I asked them, I said, what's the purpose of our creator? Why did you create our universe? They took me back inside their universe. So I went back into the neighboring universe, past the gray-green wall, and they showed me stars. And then they showed these stars exploding and emitting lots of space rocks and dust. And then they showed me these rocks cooling down and being the foundation of planets. And they showed me that they would come in and put infrastructure on these planets. They would put down rivers and lakes and oceans, and then they would add in flora and fauna, animal life and atmosphere. And they needed settlers. They needed beings to settle these new planets. And the purpose of our universe is to generate good souls that can settle these pristine, beautiful planets that the beings in the neighboring universe are creating for us. This is the incentive. This is the reason. This is what I was shown as the purpose of our Creator and the purpose of our universe. So in a nutshell, this opportunity to colonize brand new planets in the neighboring universe is very similar to what new immigrants had as an opportunity when they came to the United States and set up their homesteads. They would initially arrive on the shores, fleeing oppression in Europe. They'd see officials, and they might bristle when they see the uniforms because that was the oppression that they just had fled. But they moved on and they settled and they built better lives for themselves and for their families. And this is a similar opportunity for souls on earth that have good lives, but they sometimes think maybe there's a better way. This is an opportunity to ascend, to go and settle brand new planets, pristine planets with beautiful environments, lush, very habitable, and settle those planets in a way that they can build better lives for future incarnations of themselves and other souls. And this is an exciting opportunity, and it's right next door in our neighbor. And so in many ways, for many of our souls, it's going to be just like going home. So what this colonization opportunity represents then is what's necessitated the creation of our Creator and our universe. It's as if our Creator is some kind of a headhunter or recruitment specialist. It's as if our universe, and specifically the souls on earth, are the candidates for the headhunter. Many people say we live in earth as if we're in some kind of a test, like we're being tested. Perhaps this is the test. Perhaps we're being tested so that we can be selected to ascend and colonize these new earths. And if so, don't we need to think about what kind of soul would be selected? You can imagine that going to a pristine environment, you'd want to have a win-win relationship between yourself and that new environment. So that makes you think, for that soul to be selected, how are they behaving on earth as a person in their lifetime? What characteristics did they embody? This is something that we can put out there for discussion. And as I was pondering this point, I had a question for those beings. I said, I have a brain tumor and I have discomfort, I have side effects. How's it possible that I even begin to relay this message? And then I saw this huge face, this face like of Neptune, the Greek god, and it boomed at me in a jarring voice, "You know what you have to do." And it just set me back. So here I am, putting out the message. I'm not benefiting from this at all financially. I invite any and all criticism. I'm putting this out to see if it resonates with you, dear viewer. And if it does resonate, I'd like you to take this information and do with it and use it in a way that you feel appropriate. Thank you.